Hey, what's going on? Posido here. Today I have something different for you. I haven't practiced the bass in a very, very long time. I'm talking maybe more than a year. I've picked up my instrument a few times just to either make a video or teach a lesson, but I haven't actually practiced it in a very long time. And you know, a lot of that is just because life happens. And I'm sure you can relate to this. You know, whether it's work consuming a great deal of your time, or you might be dealing with a health issue, or like in my case, a lot of family matters. You know, earlier this year, you know, I dealt with a lot of loss in my family. So, you know, time can, or just in general, life can end up consuming a lot of your emotional energy where you just don't feel like picking up your instrument at the end of the day. And that happens to a lot of us, okay? So you can imagine the bass being a very physical, demanding instrument. When you don't even pick up your instrument for just a few days, you develop what's called technical deficit, okay? And that's basically when you just have a great deal or a great lack of technique. Your fingers just stop doing what you want them to do. They start to lose flexibility, they lose a lot of strength and dexterity and flexibility on your fretboard. And you start to have a problem, you know, you start to struggle navigating the fretboard. In my case, my fingers, they feel like molasses a lot of times where I'm trying to move and I'm like, geez, I'm moving through like just molasses. So I came up with a way to approach developing my technique on the bass, or at least maintaining my technique on the bass. I do this especially when I just happen to pick up my instrument, but for the most part, I haven't really picked it up and just spent a lot of time on it. My goal is to get back into it, back into shape, get my chops back. And so these combinations that I'm going to show you, or these permutations I'm going to show you, will do just that. So if you don't have chops on the bass, you're struggling to get chops, or you don't have dexterity or flexibility with your fingers, this is the video for you. Okay, so there's two ways to approach fingering on the bass. One of the most popular ways is the 1 finger per fret method, and then the second way is the 1-2-4 technique. I'm going to go over them really quick, and then we're going to go right into these permutations. Okay, so the 1 finger per fret method, I learned about this from watching a video with Jaco Pastorius, and he's basically just playing 1 finger per fret, and he demonstrates, it looks like this, okay? And basically when you look at it, you know, from 9th fret and up, for instance, if you just rest your fingers on the bass, each finger will naturally land on 1 fret. So I'm going to label my fingers, index finger being 1, middle finger being 2, ring finger being 3, pinky being 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the 1 finger per fret method. And we're going to go through the permutations of that. Then we have the 1-2-4 method, which is something that I play almost exclusively now on the bass. And that's basically first finger on 1 fret, and it spans only 3 frets. Okay, so first finger on the 1st fret, middle finger on the 2nd, and then the 3rd fret will be pressed down by both my pinky and my ring finger. This is a method I've seen a lot of classical bass players or upright bass players use, and I learned about this from my physical therapist when I developed tendonitis. My physical therapist basically specialized in treating a lot of musicians, and she was teaching me, or told me, that basically your ring finger and your pinky share a tendon. And so when you're using the 1 finger per fret method, it can be very straining. So for me, anytime I'm below or playing the low notes down here, 9th fret and below, you can see here how natural 3 frets spans all 4 of my fingers. Okay, so I do the 1-2-4 method, or 1-2-4 technique, anywhere below 9th fret. And then going up, I do either, I do both, whatever's most comfortable. Okay, so on to the permutations. A permutation is basically a combination, or every combination of a given set. I just created a Python script that will give me these combinations. I'm sure there's an easier way to do it, but basically with the 1 finger per fret method, you have 24 combinations of just the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. And for the 1-2-4 technique, you have 6 combinations. Let's go over a few of these so you can see how you can use this to develop your technique. Okay, so just going through 1-2-4, you'll see a lot of people play this exercise. Okay, what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to just play them a cross string. So you're always going to be practicing string crossing in the process. The first step is to play this alternating your plucking fingers, and we're going to do it legato. Oh, sorry. Make each note run into each other. Go slow, okay? If you feel strain and pain, take a break. Take lots of breaks. Try to get it so that you can get it to play smoothly. Then we're going to do it staccato. That's the next step, the next level. Articulation, I think, is something that a lot of people don't practice enough. Okay, so play them very staccato. Each note is very short and just kind of quick attacks. Now, we're going to take this up a notch, okay? Now we're going to throw in some hammer-ons. You don't have to always pluck every single string. It actually sounds a little bit more natural from a phrasing standpoint when you incorporate hammer-ons and pull-offs into your lines, okay? So I'm going to do hammer-on, then pluck, pluck. So hammer-on, so I'm still doing the same combination, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, hammer-on, 2, then pluck. Woo! Okay, then we're going to take this another level. We're going to now still do the same combination, but we're going to play them on different strings. So we have 1 on the G string, I'm going to do 2, let's say on the D string, and then 3 on the G string again, and then back to my D string for 4. So it looks like this. Ooh. So right there, I'm able to incorporate raking my strings. So I'm just going to rake my right hand like that. I seen an exercise very similar to this that John Patitucci did called the spider, I believe. But this is one way you can kind of come up with that. Now, let's say if I go the other way and I'm still doing 1, 2, 3, 4, but I'm going to now change the order. I'm going to go 1 on my E string, 2 on my A string, 4 on my E string, and then 3 on my A string. This is more like the spider that John Patitucci did, I think. This is kicking me already. And that's just the first combination. Let's do another combination. We're going to pick a random one. 3, 1, 2, 4. So 3, 1, 2, 4. Ooh, that's cool. I can incorporate pull-offs now. Okay, there's so many ways you can approach technique, and technique is a really fun way to practice. Okay, so that's one way. Now let's take it up a notch. We're going to play them on different strings. 3, 1, 2, 4. So 3, 1. I might do 2 here, and I might do 4 here. Oh, that's cool. That's like a diminished shape. Okay, 3, 1, 2, 4. Now let's move on to permutations for the 1, 2, 4 technique. Again, real quick, if you want to see all 24 permutations, just go to my website. It's just up there for free. You can look at it. But you're going to, basically what I recommend, you're going to go through every single one of these combinations. Go slowly, go with a metronome, play them on different strings, play them staccato, legato, hammer-ons, pull-offs, string raking, string crossing. You're going to get it all here, the whole gamut. Okay, now 1, 2, 4 technique. I'm going to move down to my 3rd fret here because this is a very natural spacing for my fingers. 1, 2, 4 technique. Oh, one of my lights just blew out. Okay, so 1, 2, 4 technique. Let's do 1, 2, 4, just the basic one. So 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2. I'm going to do it alternating first. Just hammer-ons. Then let's do different strings. 1, 2, 4. Ooh, that's a nice way to rake an augmented shape. And then playing that up string, crossing string, or ascending crossing strings is really cool. That kind of sounds like a Chick Corea thing, okay? So, you know, a lot of these permutations, you'll realize you use them already, but you never really like actually just like honed in on them and just focused on exercising them. Let's do a different combination, a random one. 2, 4, 1. Ooh, 2, 4, 1. I can do a hammer on here. So hammer, plug, hammer, plug, hammer, plug, hammer, plug. Okay. And then let's do this with different strings. Let's say I'll do 2, 4, 1. Ooh, that's like a Lydian sound. Okay, and let's do one more. How about we do 4, 1, 2. That's a cool one. 4, 1, 2. I can do hammer-ons here. Or let's do staccato now. Okay, let's do different strings now. 4, 1, 2. Here we go. 4, 1, 2. We already did a shape similar to that, so 4, 4, 1. All right, let's do this. 4, 1, 2. Hey, that's diminished. Okay, so you can see here, if you want to take it to the next step, play this with a metronome, actually. Don't do this without a metronome. I didn't want to do it with the metronome for the video because then you'd be just listening to click, click, click for like the next 10 minutes straight, and I wasn't trying to do that to you. So play this to a metronome. That's going to be really the next step, really. Let's go over this all over again. You got 24 combinations with the 1 finger per fret method. Play all those combinations. Play them first on a single string, and then play them cross string, play them legato, play them staccato. Incorporate hammer-ons, pull-offs, and even string raking if you can. And then the next one you do the same thing with the 1, 2, 4 technique. That's just a different sensation because you're sharing basically, you know, you're fretting with your ring finger and your pinky. And you'll find that this way is actually very comfortable on the hands. And there's a certain strength that you get when you do that. Okay, you do these types of permutations just a few minutes a day. I'm pretty sure you're going to develop your chops pretty quickly. This is what I've done for a long time. When I came across exercises that John Patitucci did with like his spider technique, which looked more like this. Oh my gosh, my fingers are like molasses. But that's the basic idea, okay? I saw him do something like that. I didn't even think of it as a permutation until much recently when I really needed to get my chops back or wanted to get my chops back. And I'm like, man, I need to just come up with some exercises that excite me. This is something that I've been doing right now, I don't know, for just a couple weeks, and it's just been a lot of fun, all right? So I hope you got a lot out of this. I really hope you get your chops back or you develop your chops and your dexterity on the bass. And please let me know in the comments if you like this or you got something out of this, all right? Thanks for sticking with me today. I'll talk to you later.